What's up, y'all? I just wanted to vent. Today because they done shadow banned. And let me say this. My Instagram account has been shadow banned. I'm talking about a whole bunch of times, like a lot. But this time, they shadow banned my account like to almost zero visibility. Now, I'm not upset with Instagram, the metaverse, Facebook. I'm not upset with them. I'm upset with the people that tell me that I'm trying to appease racist white people. And the funny thing is that if I'm appeasing racist white America, then why are they not rewarding me? Why are they shadow banning my account if I'm appeasing white people? Y'all are not making any sense. Wouldn't the system be rewarding me? What's up, Goddess Navi? Wouldn't the system be rewarding me? If I was truly working for the system, wouldn't the system be rewarding me? It's funny how these folks are talking about racism and how racist America is and white people and all this stuff, their accounts never get censored. Isn't that amazing? How all the woke people, all the people fighting on your behalf, their accounts never get censored or shut down. How amazing is that? But I'm gonna tell you, even beyond censorship or this type of censorship is the fact of my message. I realized a few months back that what I talk about is something that is actually going to liberate the people, and not just our community, but everybody. Because I talk about how everybody's being controlled through liberals. The liberals are controlling everybody because the liberals control the ideologies. If the liberals control the ideologies, then they essentially control the culture. If they control the culture, then essentially they'll control the people. So I talk about how white liberals control us through black culture. They use black culture to control us. So those are the types of messages that get my account shadow banned. Because I say that there isn't racism. And it's not how we see it as racism. Real racism, you'll probably almost never see. Because real racism comes with a consequence. And most folks say, man, I see it every day. I'm like, no, you don't. There's none of y'all that can tell me you got denied something because of your race or the color of your skin. Nobody. You can't definitively prove that somebody said you can't do this because of your race. Can't prove it. So because you can't prove it, you just say, oh, they're racist based on a feeling, or that's racism. But in actuality, anytime we see racism in America and it's proven, there is a monetary compensation that follows. You know why? Because racism is economic. What's up, the ultimate girlfriend? And so I'm venting today because these people have shadow banned my account, but I just want to be clear on why they're shadow banning my account. They didn't shadow ban my account for talking about the Peter pandemic. They didn't shadow ban my account for talking about that snake bite. Well, not like this. So what made these people shadow ban my account to this extreme this time? If I haven't been talking about the Peter pandemic, and I haven't been talking about the snake bite or the Jim Jones juice, what made them do it so extreme this time? I'll tell you. Because I'm talking about being black, I'm talking about black culture, and I'm talking about a true identity. That's what has to be censored. Because these people only control you through black culture. This is why conservatives and Republicans and everybody on the quote unquote right can't get to you all, because they don't indulge in black culture. So if they don't use black culture, they can't get to you all. But you all don't realize that black culture is destructive. Black culture is satanic. And I'm gonna say this. How do y'all believe in God and you worried about racism? If you all tell me that God is all knowing and all powerful, then what difference would racism make? If God is all knowing and God is all powerful, then what difference would racism make? So to me, even focusing on racism is really anti-God, because it really shows you don't really trust God or believe in God. Because there's no way you can tell me that you believe in God, but racism trumps everything God has done and can do. So to me, the whole narrative of racism, the foundation of it, is to simply say that you are inferior, black people are inferior, and white people are superior. How do we know this? Because if you think about racism, who are we complaining to? If you think about racism, who are we complaining to? It's no different than a child complaining to who? Not their peers. They complain to their parents because their parents can what? Can do something about it. So at the end of the day, the reason why I'm shadow banned to this extreme is not from conspiracy theories. It's not from Great Reset talk. It's not from New World Order talk. It's from talking about black people, black culture, and the control of black people through those things. That's what has them afraid. Because I'm connecting the dots and I'm telling them to be black is to be controlled. Because when you are black, you are already put in a system of control. There's a system built around you being black. There's not a system built around you being sovereign. There's not a system built around you being sovereign. There's not. They only have a system built around you being black because that's how they can introduce propaganda. They can't introduce propaganda around you being truly free. So for all the people out there that want to say I'm selling out and all this stuff, then why is the system not rewarding me? I asked a guy that said, he just told somebody, he said, all he does is talk about what black people aren't doing. And then when I explained to him what's going on, he didn't have an answer. I said, if what you're saying is true, if I cater to white people, I said, then why would my accounts be getting deleted and shadow banned and all this negative stuff to my accounts, but the person that is fighting against racism and fighting for you, why isn't their account being bothered? And he was sitting there looking like a broke mouth mule because he didn't have an answer, because he know it doesn't make any logical sense. There's no way my critique could be that I'm catering to white people, but they're shadow banning my account. It doesn't make any sense, which means whatever I'm saying has to be resonating with some people. And when I say resonating with some people, I'm talking about some people that are behind the scenes. Because I know that nobody has said that white liberals control black America through black culture. Nobody has made the connection. Nobody says that black culture is detrimental to our existence and is demonic and satanic. Nobody says it. Nobody says that to be black is to be controlled. So I'm literally saying things that have never been said before. They've never said this stuff. You can go look at books. You can go look at speakers. You can go look at all of them. Those three things that I've said, nobody else has ever said. That's why I'm getting shadow banned. That's why I'm getting censored. And I'm not bragging. I'm not saying this to a brag. I'm telling you that what I'm talking about is true freedom. They will let anybody get on TV and talk about racism, but they won't let me get on TV and talk about how white liberals control black America through black culture, how black culture is demonic and satanic and detrimental to our existence, and how to be black is to be controlled. They will not let me get on TV and talk about that. They won't let me talk about that. At the end of the day, my people perish from a lack of knowledge. This is what they say, from a lack of knowledge. But you acquiring knowledge is character-based. That's character-based. So at the end of the day, Knowing where the ledge is takes some due diligence. It requires character. So what you learn, what you study, what you gain information on and insight on is all a part of your character. That's why the Bible says, study to show thyself approved, because it is a character walk. And God has us doing this character walk. Do you all realize that the slave and the slave master both have to face judgment? The slave doesn't get a pass for being a slave. The slave doesn't get a pass for being a slave, and the master doesn't get extra punishment for being a master. The slave and the master are both held to the same standard by God. Now, those that choose to teach God's word get whipped with many stripes if you cut up, because you know better. So if you choose to spread God's word, you're going to get whipped with many stripes because you know better. So at the end of the day, the slave and the slave master both get judged. So nobody's getting a reprieve here. And so we think that we get a pass doing the wrong thing because of what we believe happened to us. Next week, and I think on Monday, I'm going to do a live. I'm going to do it on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm going to talk about the slave ships. But I'm going to talk about not just where the slave ships are, but ask questions and provide information, factual information according to them, if it was even possible to even make the trip. I'm going to really delve into this. If it's even possible to make the trip. I'm going to use science. I'm going to use practicality. I'm going to use economics. I'm going to use common sense. And I'm going to literally talk about these slave ships. Now, to me, that's the issue. So at the end of the day, in my rant today, the issue is not what these people are talking about. These people are talking about things that don't matter. In the big scheme of things, what will it matter when your freedom is hanging in the balance? I just had some men, young men, arguing with some women about abortion. Now, we can agree that abortion is wrong, but we can also agree that if a person had the scenario, well, they brought up a scenario, and the scenario was if a woman's going to die and the abortion would save her life, is it wrong for her to have an abortion? And everybody said, yes, it's still wrong. She's supposed to trust God and then let the chips fall where they may. Now, it's funny to me that men are commenting on that, because how many people, with given a choice, are going to give up their life? How many people, when given a choice, are going to give up their life? 99.9% will not. So it's easy for a man to say what's right and what's wrong and what they would do when they've never been faced with the decision. I don't even listen to people talking about life or death situations if they've never been in a life or death situation. You don't know what you do. And I can almost guarantee that most men, when it comes to a life or death situation, are going to choose life. They are going to choose life. So arguing with some women about if their life was in danger for having a child is absolutely ridiculous to me, because you're asking the woman to literally choose something she doesn't even know, which is the child. You're asking the woman to choose something that she doesn't even know, which would be the child. But you see, when most folks are talking, they're talking from a soapbox or from an emotional stance. Nobody's talking with wisdom and logic. At the end of the day, most people are going to fold under the pressure of being faced with a life or death situation. That's why they call life and death situations the extreme, because you have to make a critical and extreme choice. And most folks are not going to choose death. I can almost guarantee it. So most men, if they had to pick between a child and themselves, they're going to pick the child. to die. If most men had to pick between themselves to live or the child to die, most men are going to pick the child because most people are cowards. How do we know that? Just look around over the past 2 years and you will see it. So the reason why I'm getting shadow banned, is because I'm telling the truth. A friend of mine said that they've given a bad image to black men. They're portraying a bad image, or black men have a bad image. And I challenge that notion. I just saw George Floyd get likened to Jesus. I saw Jacob Blake get called a hero. I saw Juicy Smollett become a hero. Tell me where black men are getting a short end of the stick when it comes to their portrayal in the media. I've seen the degenerates and dregs of society burn and pillage and plunder and loot the streets and get called heroes. So tell me what image is being portrayed of us that's bad? They liken George Floyd to Jesus. What are we talking about? We don't have a poor image. Jay-Z is a hero in our community. Snoop Dogg was just on the Super Bowl show at halftime throwing up the Crip sign. And people said he's great. He's a hero. He's woke. What image of us is being portrayed as negative? What image? I've seen the most deplorable people from our community get elevated. Somebody said they like the weak black man. Okay, what image of the strong black man is tarnished? Okay, what image of the strong black man is saying this is bad? Who's saying that? CNN is definitely not saying it. MSNBC is not saying it. Who's saying that the strong black man is bad? So what I'm saying is, when we say these things, they got to be truthful. Nobody's putting a bad image out of us. They're just elevating the weak black men. But they're not making black men look bad. Black men themselves are making themselves look bad because black men are choosing to do it. So they're not making black men do anything. You're choosing to do it. You're choosing to do it. So at the end of the day, I don't subscribe to a lot of notions because I look at things objectively. And at the end of the day, people are fixated on how they feel about certain things and they never wrestle with it. They never wrestle with it. The number one thing you got to do is wrestle. You got to wrestle. What if all this race talk is false? You got to wrestle with that. What if slavery never took place? You got to wrestle with that. What if I'm wrong? You got to wrestle with that. How can you be convicted by something? Better yet, how can you overcome something if you don't wrestle with it? Everybody looks at one side of the coin for most of their life. Just to have that side of the coin, other side exposed to them and have that coin flipped over when they're about to die. And then when they're about to die, they start seeing the truth. And then they want to hold on to life, but it's too late. Because that coin being flipped over was your responsibility. Everybody can flip the coin. I flipped it. You can flip the coin, but you got to wrestle with these things. If a man is going to be celibate or wait till marriage to have sex or be a virgin for the rest, be a virgin till marriage, he has to wrestle with the thought or the idea of never having sex again in life. A man has to wrestle with the idea of never being able to have sex again in life. That is the only way to be convicted by your decision. That is the only way to conquer the decision, is to say, I'm at peace with never having sex again. That's how you have to be in this world. That's where conviction comes from. I'm at peace with never having this. Now God knows that God can trust you. This is why folks don't truly get blessed by God. It's because they don't say definitively that I'm content with never having it. I'm at peace. This is why God don't bless most people. That's why the blessings fall on the just and the unjust. So basically God just doing this, and some get hit and some don't. What I'm telling you all, the reason why God don't seek people out to bless them intentionally is because they never wrestle with these things. They never wrestle with these things. I remember one time, before I got my townhouse, I had short sold my other house. I had to short sell it. And before I got my townhouse, I said to God, I don't care if I'm homeless. That's what I said. I said, I just don't want to drive Uber and deal with these people anymore. That's what I said. That's what I said. I said, I'll be homeless. I'll be homeless. Long as I ain't got to drive for Uber, Lord, I'm cool with that. You know what? After I said that, within a few weeks, I got a job in production, engineering, and took off. Got my time, and everything opened up after that, after I said that. You know why? Because God knew I was serious. God knew I wasn't playing because I was serious. Because I was serious. I wasn't playing. I was very serious. What's up, Mimi? But the reason why I'm getting shadow banned is because I'm telling the truth. And all these people telling me I'm doing this and doing that can't prove it. Somebody said that God always makes a way, always. But God only gonna make a way when you trying to make a way. God's only honoring your request for a way. So when you go out there try to make a way, that's when God makes a way, because God knows you're serious. God knows, in the end of all this talking, black people in America, black America, not serious. God knows this. You're not serious. The devil also knows you're not serious. Now, I say things like, well, don't be black. I still get pushed back. Even though I prove that to be black is to be controlled, I still get pushed back. Because you want to hold on to being black, because when you're black, you have excuses. It's easier to be black because you got excuses. It's easy. It's not hard. People say it's hard being, it's a lie. It is a bold-faced lie to say that it's hard being black. That is a lie. It is easy because everything is someone else's fault. It's not a hard life to live. It's not hard being black. It's easy being black. There's no expectations. Don't nobody expect nothing of you when you black. What do folks expect of you? Nothing. What do folks expect? Even black folks say, all I gotta do is what? Stay black and die. It's easy being black. Not hard. You got a built-in excuse for the rest of your life. It's not hard being black. People say, what about the police? Why don't the police ever bother the Nation of Islam? You thought about that? Why haven't the police ever bothered the Nation of Islam? I'll tell you. Because they don't break the law. The police don't ever bother the Nation of Islam because they don't break the law. So most people are too emotional to even look at that as an example. The reason they don't bother the Nation of Islam is not because they're afraid of them. Nobody's afraid of them. Nobody. The reason why they don't bother them is because the Nation of Islam doesn't break the law. Therefore, when they're in right standing with the law, they don't get bothered by the police. And I could dig deeper and say they're working with the government because the government ain't bothering them either. And let y'all tell them, if the government was truly racist, they would have been destroyed the Nation of Islam. You all tell me they destroyed the Black Panthers. So they destroyed the Black Panthers, and clearly they destroyed the Nation of Islam. No, they don't. Because it's not a threat. The Nation of Islam is not a threat. And most folks don't want to hear this, but the Nation of Islam is not a threat. It's not a threat to be next. It's not a threat. All this stuff we've been told. Wait till this live on Monday. All this stuff we've been told has all been a lie. It's not real. Y'all want to tell me God is real, but you listening to woke white liberals, woke white Jewish liberals. You listening to them. How is God real? In the midst of what they talking about, it's impossible. They don't call y'all kings and queens. They don't refer to you all as great. They refer to you all as victims. They don't respect you all. They feel sorry for you all. They want to use y'all. They feel that you all are stupid. But you all tell me I'm catering to white people. But yet, those same white people will never let me come on their show. They will not let me come on CNN talking like this. They won't let me come on MSNBC talking like this, CBS, or any other woke network out there. They're not going to put my stuff on the Shade Room. They're not going to put my stuff on anything that's woke and liberal, pro-black and woke. They're not going to do it. At the end of the day, you are where you are in life due to your decisions, period. It's not a color doing it. It's not a religion doing it. It's not the government doing it. You are where you are because you chose to be there. And when you start taking self-accountability, the freer or the sooner to freedom you will be. When you start taking self-accountability, the closer to freedom you will be. Many of you all have an inferiority complex to white people. How do I know this? Because as soon as I hold you accountable, the first thing you tell me is what white people are doing and getting away with, which means you all really want to get away with something. That's always your example of what white people are doing wrong and getting away with. So that means you all want to do wrong and get away with it. See, nobody wants to address the real issue. That's the wickedness of our people. Black culture breeds iniquity. Black culture breeds hate. Black culture breeds destruction. You all can't see that? You all can't see what happened after the civil rights movement with black exploitation films? You can't see that? Why would they create a separate genre of film? Black exploitation films. Why would they create it? To make you feel good about yourself? Oh, I get it. To representation? To show you on screen somewhere? They sold y'all on representation. They sold you all on representation. Didn't God create Satan? So is Satan a representation of God? Didn't God create Lucifer? So is Lucifer a representation of God? Everybody's going to say no. So that means that something can come from something as a representation and not be good. So just because you see someone that looks like you in a position of power, does that mean they represent you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're going to say, Blanche, why don't you get on white people? I do, every day. It's just not the white folks that you all view as your oppressors. That's all. You all think the average white person is oppressing you. I know that's false and foolish. 90% of the wealth in America is held by 10% of Americans. Let's flip it. Remember, flip the coin. That means that 90% of Americans are living off of 10% of the wealth. It is impossible to have privilege. It is impossible to have privilege and lack and scarcity. It's impossible. It's impossible. So at the end of the day, I don't subscribe to those notions. I don't. Because at the core of all those notions is an inferiority complex. At the core of all those notions is a lack of faith in God. So they got me shadow banned on Instagram, but it don't matter. Because greater is he who is in me that is in the world. You see, I believe it. I ain't like y'all. I actually believe it. So when the world throws something at me, I go to the word. I trust God. I trust the Most High. When the world throws me a curve, I don't go crying. I trust God. So let these folks do what they want to do. Let these people do what they want to do. Everything they mean for evil and wickedness will turn to good. But guess what? I've wrestled with that. I've gone from two views to millions. I've wrestled with that. I put the same videos I put out for 2 views that I did for millions. Same video, same passion, same everything. At the end of the day, me going through something is not to make my people suffer. So whether it's 1 view or 1 million views, I should be putting my art out as respect to God. I should be doing these things as if I'm doing them for the Most High. So my quality and standard shouldn't be diminished because nobody's watching, because God is always watching. But they're not going to talk to you about this stuff because they want you to feel insecure and inferior because of your skin color. They're not going to put the power in your hands because they want you to feel insecure and inferior because of your skin color. That's why. This is where we are. This is where we are. I hope. Can you all hear me? I know I was on the network again. My phone hops on that Xfinity network. Can you all hear me? I don't know. Maybe you all can't comment because I was on Xfinity. But at the end of the day, all of this is about a character walk. And it's about us having character. And so it's our job to prove God right. Not to prove white people wrong or white people right. Our job is to prove God right. And so at the end of the day, I just want to say again, if I was working for the system would be rewarding me. And if they were fighting against the system would not reward them. This is simple and basic understanding of what's going on. Not about emotion, not about feeling. This is simple fact and truth. The true threats to this system get punished. If you're not a threat to the system, they're not going to, in fact, not bother you. They're going to elevate you and promote you. I just wanted to vent today. That's all. I just wanted to vent. I know I lost some folks because I clicked out to get off Xfinity, but I thank y'all for tuning in. I love you all, and may the Most High bless you all. May you all exhibit love to your fellow man and fellow woman. May you all be like God on the earth. May you all be like Yahushua or Jesus, whatever you want to call him. May you all be like him on this earth. May you all be God in the flesh. May you all be the Word made flesh. May you all do great things because your faith aboundeth much. I want to speak life into you all. Everybody else is showing us death. I want to speak life. I want you all to be blessed. And today can be the start of something great. Like you can start today. As long as you're above ground, you have a shot. You got a chance. As long as you're above ground, God is still working. So I love you. Thank y'all.